Okay, so I think it's 12 o'clock, so we might still get a few people joining us, as we often do, slipping through the door just after we start. So we're actually going to start today standing up, so we're going to start on our feet. And yeah, just have the feet about, hip width apart, and just stand wherever you are in your house or in your garden. And if you feel happy to close your eyes while standing, then do. If you're not sure about that or feel you might just fall over, then keep your eyes open. And I'm going to close my eyes and just start to feel into the ground beneath your feet. If you're outside, you might even stand on the grass for a couple of moments to feel the earth under your feet. If you're inside, you might feel the carpet or your yoga mat or a floor. Just notice the temperature under your feet, the connection with the ground, and maybe the air on the tops of your feet. You could just wiggle your toes a little bit, stretch the toes as you're standing here. And try and have just a sense of the body as you're standing, the shape of it, the space that you're taking up. And you can let the shoulders drop away from the ears, let the arms be heavy. And then just start to notice your breath. Just following a few breaths, the in-breath and the out-breath. And you might notice also as you do that, that the body's swaying a little bit, making little adjustments to keep you upright. So you'll notice the movement within the stillness. And notice the movement of the breath as well within the stillness. And notice how you are just now. And however you are, seeing if you can receive that with interest, with a kind of welcome. See if you can meet yourself with kindness. And let, however you are, inform how you practice today. So if you need to work gently, work gently. If you feel you've got lots of energy, you can put in a bit more energy. Or maybe you're somewhere in between. And also that might change as we practice. So just keep coming back to yourself, checking in with yourself in a kindly way. And let that inform your practice today. And then slowly opening your eyes, if you've got them closed. And we're going to start to move from there. So we're just going to start with a few little hip circles, so putting our hands on the hips and circling the hips. You might want to widen the legs a little bit, drawing some hip circles. And this is a nice way of just bringing a little bit of fluidity into the hips and starting to open up and go in the other direction as well. Try and let the feet spread, supporting the toes can be active without gripping. And keep rotating those hips a few more times. And then slowly come to stillness. And then we're going to swing our arms a little bit. So we're just going to let the arms swing from side to side. One arm behind, one arm in front. So slowly starting to turn. And that might get a little bit faster. And what might happen as well is that one of your feet might also start to lift. So the opposite foot to the way you're turning can start to lift as you turn the torso a little bit more, turn the hips a little bit. So keep swinging the arms, opening up that area, and also giving yourself a little pat on the back with the hand, the arm. So a few more of these. Lifting that back heel. And starting to feel your way into your whole body in this standing posture, this standing space. And then slowly again, coming to stillness. Closing the eyes again if you're happy to do that. And just once more feeling the body. Feeling already the energy in the legs, shoulders, maybe the hips waking up. And then again opening the eyes. We're going to come down now onto the mat for a moment. Come down onto all fours into tabletop, spreading the fingers, bringing the hands a little bit forward of the shoulders, knees about hip width apart and underneath the hips. And then a few cat-cows just to warm up the back. So on the inhale, reaching the chest forward, sitting bones up, and then exhale, rounding. Dropping the head and tail as you lift the side waist, inhale. Lift the chest, lift the sitting bones, exhale, round. So a few more of those, letting the breath wrap around the movement, waking up your back. And having a sense of the fluidity of the spine, moving as it curls, and then as you round it back. And then slowly coming back to stillness. And we're going to just bring our left hand in a little bit, bring the left foot forward, and then draw a few circles with that left hip. If it's easier, you can turn the toes out a little bit, or you can keep them fairly straight, and just start to warm up that left hip a little bit, drawing some circles. There might be a little bit of cracking here as it starts to warm up. And then we're also going to bring the knee forward and then lift the toes, maybe keeping the knee slightly bent to stretch the hamstring, then forward again, and then back. A few times like that, lifting the toes. And then bringing that left knee back and walking the left hand back to where it was and walking the right hand a little bit more towards the center, and then stepping that right foot forward next to the hand, and then again drawing some circles with that right knee, that right hip, bringing some juice into that hip, some fluids. lubricating the hip. And then bringing the knee forward, lifting the toes, bringing the knee back, straightening the leg a little bit, stretching out the back of the leg. A couple more of those. And then walking that right hand back, bringing the right knee back into the tabletop position. And then just for a moment, we're going to tuck our toes, draw the hips back, and come into a downward dog, keeping the knees nice and soft, first of all, lifting the sitting bones, lengthening the back, spreading the fingers, reaching forward with the hands. And if you want to, you can straighten and bend the alternate legs. Few more breaths here, really feeling into this pose, this first downward dog, feeling how the body feels, how do the sides of the body feel, stretching the sides a little bit as well. If you get a bit tired, if you're newer to yoga, then just drop the knees and come into a child's pose for a few moments. And then let's all come down just for a few breaths into child's pose, letting the head rest. And then bring the hands back and come to the back of your mat. We're going to do a little flowing movement where we do a few movements together. So we're going to start at the back of the mat. So as soon as you sort of get the hang of this movement, you can just join me in it. So I'm going to bring my hands next to my knees, and then I'm going to let them slide forward. So I come onto my hands and knees, and then I'm going to scoop forward and down, come up into a low cobra. Then I'm going to wave back down, push myself back onto all fours. Let my hands slide back towards my heels, and then as they come to behind me, I'm going to lift my hips, and if it's okay on my neck, look back. So I'm just going to keep repeating this movement, so just join me as and when you can, scooping through and down, coming up into a low cobra, waving back down. Really make the movements as effortless as you can, so you're just sliding the hands back, lifting the hips, opening the chest, looking back if that's okay on the neck, releasing the hips, letting the hands slide forward again, bringing the chest forward, lowering the chest, scooping through and up, low cobra, lifting the shoulders back, waving down, pushing back up onto the hands and knees, letting the hands slide along your mat, and then bringing the hands behind you, lifting the hips and coming into a back bend, and then back onto your heels, sliding the hands forward, and then lowering the chest, scooping through and up into a low cobra, waving down, bringing the hands back to the heels, lifting the chest, and then doing a couple more of those in your own rhythm, sliding the hands forward. It's a really nice simple movement, and you can get quite absorbed in this movement just with the simplicity of the repetition, and it's a really nice way of stretching the back. So a few more, lowering yourself forward and down, scooping through and up, waving down, coming back, sliding those hands and lifting up. And then let's make this next one the last one. And on this one, we'll end with the child's pose rather than going into that last back bend. So waving up and down, tabletop, and then let the buttocks come to the heels, let the hands slide back, and have the palms upwards. And just rest for a moment, feeling the body, feeling the effect of those flowing movements. And dog, so coming forward and then drawing the hips, buttocks back towards the heels, lift the hips and walk out our legs. And then we're going to come into a low lunge. So we're going to step forward with the left foot between the hands, let the right knee drop behind us. If you need a bit of padding for your knee, then do have a blanket or a cushion or something like that. Coming into a low lunge, finding our ground, so spreading the toes. Base of the big toe can be quite active on the front foot, outer edge of the foot, but also, the outer corner of the heel, back foot is pressed into the ground. And then if you can, lifting the hands. And in the lunge, we're going to do a few shoulder openers. So really make sure that you feel grounded, you feel balanced. Because first of all, we're going to lift the arms up, take the hands into an interlace, and then lift the palms. So lifting up through the shoulders, stretching here, breathing here, lift the chest, lift the arms, 2 more breaths, and then releasing the hands. And then we're going to wrap the right arm around the left, bring our palms together, squeezing the elbows, eagle arms as it's called. And then see if you can lift the elbows a little bit and draw the hands away from the face. All the while you're working the hips in the lunge, and you're working the shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades away from each other. 2 more breaths here. And then releasing the hands and bringing the hands behind us into an interlace and stretching the arms back, lifting the chest. And then the last one you can try. You could either hold the elbows, as I'm doing, or you can bring the palms together in Namaste and then bring the pinky fingers, the little finger, press together in towards your spine, as if you've got wings, and then lift the chest. Two breaths here. Fantastic, well done. And then let's bring our hands down and bring that knee back towards the other knee. Tuck the toes again. Bring the buttocks back towards the heels. Lift the sitting bones and come back into our downward dog. Walk out the legs. And really let the head relax, lengthen the neck. And then we're going to step the right foot forward and do the same things on the other side. So first of all, establishing our base. So active in this front right foot, pressing the base of the big toe down. And being on the tops of the top of the back foot. And then take the hands away. And still trying to find our ground so that we feel balanced and stable. active and stretching this back quad. And then we're going to interlace the hands and bring the arms overhead, stretching the palms, lifting up. Few breaths here. Reaching skywards with our palms, and then slowly releasing the arms and bringing the left arm over the right, squeezing the elbows together, bringing the hands together, and then if you can, lifting the elbows a little bit and drawing the hands away from your face. And these shoulder poses probably are all really needed right now for all of us, all the time we're spending on our computers and maybe sitting at desks. So it's really nice to do some stuff for our shoulders. Couple more breaths, drawing the hands away from the face, lifting the elbows if you can. And then releasing. Bringing the hands this time into another interlace behind the back and drawing the knuckles away from the body, lifting the chest, lifting the heart. Feeling that openness through the chest and still feeling that stability in your feet, in the lunge. Last breath. And then either taking hold of the elbows as if you've got wings and we're going to lift the chest, or bringing the palms together, turning the hands so that the little finger comes into contact with the spine and lifting the chest. And breathing here, 2 more breaths. And then slowly releasing. Bringing the hands down and stepping or bringing that knee back. Drawing the buttocks back towards the heels, lifting the sitting bones and coming once more into our downward dog. And then from here we're going to come onto our knees again and then let the chest move forward and down, scooping through and up into a cobra. And we're just going to wave a couple of times, so let the forehead come back down and then lift the chest, lift the shoulders and release. Last one. Lifting up and release. And then pressing back again onto all fours and coming back into our downward dog. So again, walking out our legs. And we're going to do that one more time. You can either bring the knees, chest and chin down, or you can now come into a plank where you move yourself forward, bring the chest forward, maybe hold that for a couple of breaths and then lower yourself down, scoop through and come up into an up dog. So you're on your toes, tops of the toes and feet and the hands, and then come back into the downward dog. So 3 breaths here. And then we're going to step forward with our left foot, drop the right heel, and we're going to come into warrior 2. So I'm going to show you it from the back first of all. So left hand, looking down along the left hand, along that middle finger, keeping the torso nice and upright. So you're not leaning, you've got a nice upright torso, looking at that left hand, breathing. And then we're going to add in some arm variations. So on the inhale, we're going to straighten our front leg and lift the arms, palms above the head. Exhale back into the warrior 2. Inhale, lift the arms, straighten the front leg, Exhale, look back towards that hand, left hand. Inhale, last one. Looking ahead of you, arms reaching up. And exhale, back to warrior two. Then we're going to bring the hands in front of us. So inhale, bring the palms together in front of you. Look to your hands. Exhale, back into warrior two. Inhale, hands in front. Exhale, back. Last one. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to do the same, bringing the hands behind us. So inhale, bring the palms behind us. Straighten the front leg, I forgot that. Exhale, back into warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the palms behind us. Exhale, back into warrior two. Last one, inhale and exhale. Great. And then we're going to pivot on that back foot, turn the hip and windmill our arms, hands down to the ground, and step back with the left foot into a downward dog. And then between sides, again, you can do knees, chest, chin, coming down as we've been doing, or you can come again into a plank, bringing the chest forward and then lowering down, skipping through, coming up into an up dog, and then back again into downward dog. 3 breaths here. And then step forward with your right foot. Drop the left heel, windmill your arms up, and come into warrior two on the other side. So first of all, looking along that front, right hand, middle finger, drawing the left hand back and having a sense of your arms in space without needing to look at them, just feel and sense them. Making sure the knee is above the ankle or a bit behind it, so you're not overshooting. Feeling that outer edge of the back foot, active, engaged. And then as we inhale, we're going to straighten the front leg, bring the palms together over our head and look ahead, and then exhale back into the warrior two. Inhaling, lift the arms, exhaling, back to warrior two. Last one, inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to bring the palms forward and straighten the leg. So inhale, bring the arms, palms forward in front of us. Exhale, back into warrior two. Inhale, great, and exhale. Last one, inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, back into warrior two. And then the palms behind us. So inhale, straighten the leg, arms behind. Exhale, back into warrior two. Inhale, palms behind, straighten the front leg. Exhale, warrior two. Last one. Inhale and exhale. So those are the ballet variations of the warrior two. You've done really well. Well done. Great. 2 breaths here. And then pivoting on that back heel, turning the hip, windmilling our arms down, hands on either side of the foot, and back into the downward dog. And again, a few breaths here, and then we're going to do either a plank, or you might want to do, I'm going to show knees, chest and chin again, so drop the knees, scoop and lower down through the chest, come up into a cobra, and then press back into the downward dog. That's one alternative. Or you can come forward again, just as I've done just then, or into a plank, lower yourself, scoop through and up into an up dog, and then back into downward dog. So we'll just do one more, your choice, either knees, chest and chin, or coming forward into a plank, lowering yourself, scooping through and up, and then back into the downward dog. 2 breaths here. And then we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet, softly bending the knees. And see if you can take hold of your elbows and let the head, let the back release, let the neck release, and let the head be really heavy. The arms can be heavy. And really folding forwards as if you're a waterfall, just releasing. Two more breaths. And then using the strength of your legs, we're really going to press the earth away with the feet, letting the arms circle up, soft bend in the knees, and come up to standing. And then bring the hands to the heart. And we're going to do a couple of balancing poses now. So we're going to start with a tree pose. So bringing the weight, first of all, into the left foot. So if you know that you struggle a bit with balance and you're inside, maybe stand near a wall. If you're outside, see if you can stand near something if if your balance is a bit precarious. And I'm just, first of all, just going to get you to let the weight come into that left foot. It's a bit like you're a heron just standing in the water and you've taken your right foot off the ground. So quite relaxed, natural, just standing on one leg, minding your own business. And then we're going to try and bring that foot either onto the ankle, below the knee, above the knee, or into the inner thigh, inner groin. So bring the heel there, pressing the heel and the rest of the foot into that area, kind of drawing the hips inwards, drawing the body kind of inwards really, and engaging the core here, and then bringing the hands together at the heart, finding our balance, finding a still point to focus on. So finding our dristi, as it's called, our gaze. And then from there, when we feel balanced, we can start to lift the arms. For some of you, you might want to bring your arms into a cactus shape, so you've still got a broad base, broad branches on which to find your balance. Or you might want to lengthen the arms up straight away. Some people like to bring their palms together, or you can have the palms just facing each other and the arms separated. So whichever is easier for you. So just breathing here in the tree pose, finding your balance, feeling your roots going down into the earth and your branches reaching upwards towards the sky. 2 more breaths. Well done. And then bringing the hands down to the chest. Again, and then we're not going to put our foot on the ground yet. We're going to come into another balance. So lift the knee, and I'm just going to turn around so that I can demonstrate this next one for you. So I'm just going to turn around on my foot. Going to lift the knee, couple of breaths here, and then I'm going to bring my right foot into my right hand, finding my balance here. And then I'm going to lift the left hand up, reaching upwards, and draw my right foot back, keeping it in line roughly with my buttock. This is called dancer pose. So not leaning forward, it's more reaching up. So coming in, it's a bit of a back bend and a balance. And pressing the top of the foot into that back hand, lifting up. Well done, beautiful. And then bring that knee back. And release. Fantastic. We've done one side. Now we're going to try the other side. So bringing the weight into the right foot, just standing on that right leg, just in a natural way to begin with. And then bringing that right heel somewhere in towards the groin or the inner leg, just not on the knee. Finding our still points to rest the gaze, hands pressing towards each other. And that can help to bring this sort of sense of lengthening from the core, so lengthening down towards the earth and reaching up towards the sky. So as you press the hands, you might feel a lift up as if your tree's growing. And then you can bring the hands into cactus if you need to and want to, and then up into the tree, reaching upwards. Fantastic. Let the face soften and relax. Let the eyes be soft. Couple more breaths. Great, well done. And then bring the hands back to the heart. Release the hands, and I'm going to turn again, lifting my knee, finding my balance. So lifting your knee upwards towards the chest, and then bring that left foot back into the left hand, reaching up with the right hand, really reaching up, and then drawing that left foot back into dancer. Keeping the left foot roughly in line with the hip, buttock. One more breath. And then slowly release, bringing that knee back up to the chest. And release. Well done. Fantastic. It's quite hard to go from one balance to another one. Okay, so we're going to start to slow it down now, cool it down after all that energy. So how we're going to do that, we're going to come down through a squat pose, so turning the feet out a little bit if we need to, and then slowly bending the knees, letting the buttocks come down towards the heels. If you need to, have your blocks from your heels, bring the palms together, and just for a moment bring the elbows in front of the knees, pressing the elbows into the knees, lifting the chest. And looking forward for 3 breaths. Great. And then slowly let the buttocks give in to gravity. And then turning back onto your mat. And now just letting yourself roll down the mat. And bring the knees to the chest. And draw some circles around the sacrum. Have a hand on each knee. And just going in both directions. Easing out the back. Come back to stillness for a moment, and then draw the knees away from each other and then back together again. A few times in one direction. And then going in the other direction. And then let the feet come down to the ground. Have them as wide as your mat. And then you can spread the arms out. And we're just going to let the knees drop from side to side. So drop to the left. Torso can also move towards the left. Head could move towards the right. And then back to center. Lift the knees. And then let the knees drop towards the right. So one hip turning out, one hip turning in. Torso moves towards the left with the head. And then on the inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, releasing. And then inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, knees to the right. So just doing that a couple more times. Knees Coming up to center on the inhale, and as you exhale, letting the knees release. Last one. Lift the knees and exhale, release. And then bringing the knees back to center. Just starting to stretch out the legs now, and just check roughly where you are on your mat so that you're straight, you're not wonky. And then just let the head come down to the ground. Arms can be either alongside the body, palms upwards, or you could bring the hands onto the belly. And if you have got your hands onto the belly, just feel that movement under the hands, that movement filling the hands. And if you've got the hands alongside you, just feel what they're connected with, whether it's grass or your yoga mat or the floor. And just giving yourself just a minute or two to rest now. Feeling the benefits of the yoga, feeling the areas that you've worked today. And then you're very welcome to carry on lying here if you've got time to do that and you don't need to start to move. But if you know that you do need to move fairly soon, and you could just bring a little bit of movement back into the body, the fingers, toes, stretching hands and feet. You could take a little stretch overhead. And then you can bring the feet onto the ground if you want to. And roll over onto your side, drawing the knees towards the chest and letting the head be cradled on the arm. Just rest here for a couple of breaths. And then from there, slowly bringing yourself up. And we're just going to finish with a short minute or so to sit together. And I'll also read a poem. Or if you're still lying down, you can just hear the poem from where you are. And this is another poem by the Estonian poet Doris Kareva. Colours, beauty, that even they didn't know before, didn't recognise, are patterns that disappears when dry, but imprints in the memory. Thus is love. When a wave splashes over pebbles, their inner pattern is revealed, with extraordinary colours, beauty, that even they didn't know before, didn't recognise, a pattern that disappears when dry, but imprints in the memory. Thus is love. So thank you again for joining us, joining me today. I've really appreciated practicing with you. And yeah, if you've been tuning into these classes regularly, you'll know that they're all an offering really to you. So if you are able to give in any way, then that's really appreciated, and it means we can keep on doing these classes and enables as many people as possible to join us. So yeah, please do give if you're able to. There's a gift, a box that you can click onto. And also, I just want to let you know that next week there's going to be a course here at the Buddhist Centre. It's called the 7 Steps to Enlightenment. And you can register for that course if you'd like to. It includes morning meditations and evening sessions at 7 o'clock. And yeah, it's going to be a course over 6 days, so Monday to Saturday. And then it'll culminate in the Buddha Day celebration. So it'd be lovely if some of you joined in with that. And yeah, you'll find the details on our website. I think Polly's going to put a link in so you can go straight to that and have a look. Yeah, thanks very much, Polly, for being the tech again. And yeah, I hope to see you all again soon. And thanks again for joining me and practicing together. It really makes a difference.